Now, I'll tell you something else. There was one time this man that likes the horses and buggy. Wherever he goes, he would go with a horse and buggy. Well, one day he was driving down the road toward Amos. Clip, clop, he had the pacer in the shaft and he was going along clip, clop, and when he was driving there, he saw on the side of the road such a pretty blonde girl, about 19, 20, you know. And as he drove along, he thought to himself, boy, this is our Shay, you know, she's pretty nice, clip, clop. And when he got up next where she was walking, he said, whoop, how do you do? And she looked over and she smiled, she said, hello. He said, yeah, well, he said, where are you going? She said, I'm walking in at Amos. Yeah, well, he said, you don't have to walk, get in the buggy, I take you along. Well, the buggy's kind of high, you know, and she hot soak along, but she got in, and she sat next at him, and clip, clop, we not fought for her. He drove away, and he's going down the road, and all the time he thought to himself, he thought, boy, she's over nice, you know, clip, clop, clip, clop. Yeah, but I'm so old already, clip, clop, clip. I wish I could get to know her better. He thought all this to himself, you know, clip, clop, clip. Then he thought, well, maybe if we write a couple letters, he and her, you know. He didn't know how to say this right in English, the right word for writing letters. Then all of a sudden it came to him, corresponding. And he was just going to say something, and she said, oh, she said, here, I must get off. He said, whoop, and as she got off the buggy, he said, I don't know you very good. He said, but I'd like to know you better. Do you think we could do a little corresponding? Yeah, well, she said, I don't know. Do you think the horse stays standing that long? Oh, there you are. Then, I don't know if they'll use that one, but we have it there anyway. But it's funny about the people here in the Lehigh County. No matter where they come from, people come from all over the country and they enjoy the way that we do things. You know, I was working one time, I was an announcer on the stage with the Hillbilly Outfits, what was at the fire company. We were down one time at Lancaster County, we were on the stage and we were playing like crazy, and the fire siren went off. And everybody left, even the bingo game broke up, everybody left. They went to fight the fire, you know, so I didn't know what to do, and I said to the boys, well, I said, we are getting paid, let's go fight the fire too. So we locked up the instruments and we went where the fire was. And when we were there, the chief's wife, she was kind of a big lady, you know, and she had her good clothes on, but she helped fight the fire. See, as he and Hawk sprung her, she ran back and forth in all the mud and the water with her good clothes on, and she was helping with the buckets. And the big house was on fire, and the house in the back was on fire, the barn, but the little house in the middle, that one wasn't burning, you know. And they were running back and forth, and all at once you could see that, well, she just stopped and she ran toward the little house that wasn't burning, and she slipped and she fell. And the chief came over and he said, "Aye, Matilda," he said, "that was your good Sunday dress." He said, "I'm sorry that you got it all dirty in the mud." And she got up and she said, "Yeah, well," she said, "it's all right, I couldn't have made it anyhow." So, well, I don't care. I don't care how you figure it out. You know, wherever we go, the people have different ways of saying different things. Now, I know for myself that there are a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch words that sound just like English words, but in English words they mean something else. It's a once. A once is a bedbug. Well, there was this elderly couple one time, they went driving on like a second honeymoon. This was such an anniversary, but they had they were driving with the machine and they stopped at a motel. Well, they went in the motel and Pop was paying the bill, and all of a sudden Mom came running in the office and she said, "Pop, we ain't staying here." She said, "We're getting out of here." Twice I saw her once go up the wall. Oh, you see. But this is regular. You know, when I was a little boy, we moved in a new house, and I was with my mammy and my pappy. And that's my grandpap and my grandmam, and we was at this house, and they were arguing about how they were going to paint the kitchen. Well, this is one word in Dutch that's different than it is in English, even though it sounds like it ain't. Does that get you mixed up? Well, anyway, they were there, and Pop came running down. He said, "Oh, Mom," he said, "what are you going to paint the kitchen? What's von father? What color?" "Why?" She said, "We're going to make it white." "No," he said, "we ain't going to make it white." He said, that's too light. And he said, "that shines in my eyes when I lay down to rest for a nap. We should paint it a little bit dunkel." Nee, hat sie gesagt. She said, no, we're going to paint it on the light colour. Das muss bissel hell sein, weißt. And they were talking back and forth and arguing about what colour they were going to paint the kitchen. And finally my pappy, he had a temper too, and he got mad. And he said, now hold it. Now wait, just a minute, I want to say something. We're going to paint one stub dunkel, and we're going to paint one stub hell, and if you don't like it in the dunkel, punch it in the hell gate. But anyway, and you, as I said, there, yeah, he clicked me for hunts for sure. There are these different ways, the different ways that people will say different words. I don't care what it is, and there are so many of the same kind. Like in the Pennsylvania Dutch words where we put the cart before the horse, talking about this cart before the horse business. We had a fella that drank pretty often. He would stop at the different beer joints and one thing or another. He drank pretty much. And this was with the horse and buggy. Then one time he came out with the horse and clip, clop, a spot for it with the buggy, and he got so about halfway home, and he was pretty drunk, and the horse laid down right in front of the wagon. He sat there for a minute, and he said to the horse, he said, now by golly, get up or I drive over you. But this is right. These guys have all, I must tell you this one too. You know, we worked these different shows. We was down one time in a place called Stevens, Pennsylvania. It was cold. This was schon sport you are. We were down there, and we was on the stage playing the instruments, and the people said, now it's so cold you can't play, right? Why don't you sit down at the intermission? That's in between when we're off, you know. We should sit down and have some coffee and some hot soup. So we sat down, and they brought out some soup, this corn soup and hot coffee. And the fellow with the guitar, what was at my side, he said he couldn't drink the coffee. And I said, how come you can't drink the coffee? And he said, well, this happens even in the best houses, at my house too. But by accident, there's a hair in the coffee. He said, I can't drink it. And the other guy said from the soup, he said the same thing was a hair in the soup. But then that bothered me, and I had such a piece of apple pie. I got the fork and I went around in the apple pie, took a lot of crust, but I went around in the pie, and I couldn't find a hair in the pie. When the young lady came out, I said, honey, how come I got chipped? She said, why, what do you mean you got chipped? I said, how come he got a hair in the coffee, the other guy got a hair in the soup, and I didn't get any hair in the apple pie? Well, she said, you're such a smart guy from the big town, but you did not get no hair in your apple pie, because your apple pie is made from Baldwin's. I tell you, about 1946, there was a song that a fella put on the record called Mule Train. Now people, when they heard this song about Mule Train, they thought of the salt flats of Utah, they thought of the West Coast, but they didn't think about our part of Pennsylvania. Well, we had good mule skinners too. One of these names was Cheeky Knupcup, who lived up in Kungletown, Pennsylvania. And Cheeky Knupcup drove what was known as a Lecho Dal Eselfuhr. That's the Lehigh Valley Mule Train. And if you use your imagination, you could ride along with Cheeky Knupcup doing something like this here. Eselfuhr! Clippity-clopping through the wind and rain. I don't believe by Chingo it will stop. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clippity, clippity-clippity, clippity-clopping along. I have a saddle for a pony what lives out in Maxitone. Such a buggy fully equipped for a doctor up in Egypt. The boss said he won't pay us when I don't mention he may us get along. Get along. Now as he drove along, he talked to the mules just like a father. And as he drove along, it went something like this here. It said, ha! Come on, Chenny, come on, Shake, hurry up, pull together now, let's go. Hey-ya, pull, Chenny, I said, come on. Yeah, you too, Shake, come on, pull together now. Ha! Pull, Chenny, I said, come on. Hurry up, Shake, don't make Mum do all the work, let's go. Come on, pull together now. I do long what I can start keeping up, let's cup do. Come on, Zeke, come on. Ha! Clippity-clopping through the wind and rain. I don't believe by Chingo it will stop. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clippity, clippity-clippity, clippity-clopping along. Then when he was almost home, he had this long hill to go up. The only way he could get those mules up the hill was keep the light burning up in the barn. That's in the Shire. Because that's where the hawa was, and they were hungry. You know what the hawa is, that's the oats. Then he would do like this here. Ha! Come on, Chenny, come on, Shake. Just once the hill up, then we are home. Come on. Hip-ha! Pull together. Oi, what's laying out there in the road? A head? I mean a head. Here, come on. Ha! Pull, I said. Come on. I see the light burning up there in the Shire. If you want your hawa, you gotta heave a hawa hole it. Come on. Ha! We are pretty soon there now. Let's go. They can't me piper. Come on, we are soon home. Ha! Now we're home. Woo! Say one thing I must say yet. People wonder where we get the name Lehigh Valley. Lehigh comes from Lecho. That's the German word for Lehigh. And Lecho comes from Lechoveki. Lechoveki, that was the Indians what used to live here. And I want to tell you a little story from them Indians, and this is something you ought to know about. Years ago, there was this Indian tribe, was right down here on the Lehigh River. And they wanted to give the chief's daughter for a bride. And there were 3 braves that wanted to have the chief's daughter. And they said, well, the one that does the greatest feat of bravery will get the chief's daughter. So the one went out and he shot a great big 400-pound grizzly bear, and he brought him back, and the tribe thought, oh, this is wunderbar good, this guy ought to have the daughter. Then the other one went out and he came back with about 600 pounds of fish that he caught all by himself. Aye, they said, he's great, he ought to have the chief's daughter. Then the other one, this one's name was Falling Rock. Falling Rock went out and he started to look for something that he could do too. He went hunting and he got lost in the woods. And Falling Rock stumbled around in the woods. He was looking for how to get back with the people. He was gone a month, a year, 3 years, 4 years. In fact, they never heard of him again. And that's why when you drive along the road, you see the signs that say, watch for Falling Rock. I just thought I would say that for you people what sometime may come here to the Lehigh Valley for a visit. And to all of you now, like we always say in Pennsylvania Dutch, I want to say, mach's gut. That means make it good. Shop not too hot. Don't work too hard. And if you're listening at our radio station sometime, don't tray the knop. That means don't turn the knob. Thank you very much.